I am thinking it is time to buy a house.
Have you ever bought a house before?
Well, it has been quite a while. But it can't be that hard, can it?
Were you going to use a real estate agent?
It really doesn't matter, does it?
Only if you are willing to pay whatever the selling agent tells you to for the house.
What do you mean?
The hidden truth about real estate agents that sellers don't want you to know is that there is a difference between a seller agent and a buyer's agent.
What is the difference?
Whether you are currently looking for a home or considering placing a home on the market, there are two types of agency relationships important for you to understand. A seller agent and a buyer's agent, each of them assist people in the real estate transaction. When they are hired by the client to act as an agent, it creates an agency relationship between the agent and the buyer or seller.
What do you mean by an agency relationship?
An agent is a person who represents another person and acts on behalf of the other person, called the principal, you. The agent looks out for the best interest of the principal, who is either you or the seller.
What does an agent do for me? Or the seller?
An agent's duties generally include care, confidentiality, full disclosure, and accurate accounting. In simpler terms, a real estate agent who has an agreement with you should always be working and negotiating any transaction to serve and protect your best interest.
So if I go and use the person who has put the sign in the yard, they have an agency relationship, the seller?
That's right. When you see homes around your neighborhood for sale with a real estate office sign in the front yard, the homeowners have entered into a contract with a real estate agent to sell their home.
Okay.
The homeowner and the real estate agent enter into a contract that spells out how the agent is to be paid. The responsibilities of the seller's agent includes getting the highest purchase price and the best terms possible for the seller.
So they have to try to get the best price for the seller?
Yes, otherwise they are not honoring their agreement.
Can't they just help me out as well?
They are also expected to act honestly and in good faith, as required by state law, to disclose to the buyer certain kinds of information about the property.
But they still have to get the highest price possible for their client, the seller.
Yes. Sellers' agents have to get the best price possible for their sellers.
Why don't they just tell me how much the seller really wants?
A seller's agent cannot divulge confidential information to the buyer or the buyer's agent that is not in the best interest of the homeowner, such as what price the homeowner will accept.
Well then, who is looking out for me?
What you need to find is a buyer's agent.
Do I really need a buyer's agent?
Even if you are familiar with the real estate market, you should seek help from someone in whom you can confide and have work for your best interests.
What type of qualities should a buyer's agent have?
A good buyer's agent should have experience in negotiating lower prices and favorable terms. They should be familiar with the potential pitfalls to the transaction. And most of all, works in real estate, full-time, every day.
What do you mean by full-time?
Someone that helps people buy houses every day. This makes them an expert in the market. Just like we are experts in what we do, because we do our jobs every day. In this case, a real estate agent's job should be finding and negotiating the best price for houses.
So, the best way to protect yourself from being taken advantage of when you are buying a home is to make an agreement between you and a buyer's agent.
That is correct.
So a buyer's agent should help me find the new house, negotiate the best price for me on the purchase of the house, and give me advice about the process.
Above all, they should be working to protect your interest at all times. A buyer's agent can expose the relative advantages and disadvantages of a particular home and advise you how much to offer, evaluate improvements, and actively work to attain the best price and terms for you. Remember, buying homes is what buyer's agents do, day in and day out.
How much does it cost to use a buyer's agent?
That is actually the best part. The buyer's agent works for you for free.
That sounds great, but how is that possible?
Buyer's agents get paid through a commission split with the listing agent.
So the seller pays the listing agent, who in turn has to split the fee with my buyer's agent?
Exactly. In contrast, if the listing agent sells you the home. Even if you feel you know enough about real estate and real estate law to protect your own interests, then they would keep the entire commission for themselves. Remember, the listing agent is contracted to get as much money out of you as possible and has all the motivation to let you represent yourself in the purchase, since they will get to keep the entire commission.
So, the seller has already agreed upon some set amount of money to pay real estate agents to sell their home? Whether a seller's agent sells you the home or you employ a buyer's agent to help you?
Yes. The seller expects part of the money allocated to be used to pay for a buyer's agent, guaranteeing adequate representation for you. When you choose to employ the expertise of a buyer's agent to assist you, it translates into no out-of-pocket expense for you.
What if the seller offers a percentage commission based on the sales prices? Doesn't the buyer's agent have a conflict of interest when it comes to negotiating the lowest price?
In theory, this could be true. In reality, a buyer's agent would only benefit slightly by failing to help you negotiate the best price. A buyer's agent is not willing to jeopardize their relationship with you and risk the possibility of future business by way of referrals from you.
Okay, what would you think is the most important question I can ask an agent when I interview them?
Don't be afraid to ask an agent for their track record on the last few negotiations. Their response will tell you how aggressive they are and whether or not they are working full-time or not.
Can a buyer's agent show me all of the homes for sale in an area?
As a rule, the buyer's agent can show you any homes listed for sale in the entire area. These include almost all available homes listed on the Multiple Listing Service MLS, most homes not listed on the MLS or even for sale by owners.
Are there any homes they cannot show me?
The listing agreement between the homeowner and the seller's agent usually specifies whether buyer's agents may show you the home. Most homeowners are motivated to sell their home and want it available to the largest possible showing audience of potential buyers. It is rare that a seller's agent will refuse to work with a buyer's agent.
Do you know of any good buyer's agents?
Yes. Legacy Real Estate and Property Management has some of the most aggressive negotiators out there. I would call them first.
Well, I certainly want an aggressive, more knowledgeable agent to help me negotiate the best deal.